Ever get the feeling that AI is a bit like a one-trick pony when it comes to languages? Like they aced English class, but sort of got lost in a multilingual world.
Yeah.
Today, we're doing a deep dive into a new method that's shaken things up in the world of machine translation.
Uh-huh.
It's called CRPO.
Okay.
And we've got excerpts from the research paper itself so we can really get into like the nitty-gritty of how it all works.
Awesome. CRPO stands for Confidence Reward Driven Preference Optimization.
Okay.
And it's all about helping large language models, those AI powerhouses we know as LLMs,
Yeah.
become better translators.
Okay.
Especially when it comes to those tricky languages that aren't English.
Yeah, because let's face it, LLMs are kind of like that friend who only speaks English abroad.
Right.
They get the gist,
Mm-hmm.
but can really fumble those finer points.
Exactly. And traditional methods for training these LLMs to be multilingual have been complex and resource intensive. Think of it like trying to teach someone a new language by having them analyze like every grammar rule and memorize endless vocabulary lists.
Oh, geez.
It works,
Okay.
but it's a slow and tedious process.
Sounds like a recipe for burnout
Yeah,
for both the learner and the teacher.
totally.
So where does this CRPO method come in? Is it like a linguistic shortcut or?
You could say that
Mhm.
CRPO takes a more intuitive approach,
Mm-hmm.
focusing on how the LLM learns from its mistakes.
Okay.
It builds on simpler techniques like direct preference optimization,
Okay.
where you basically show the model good and bad translations side by side and let it figure out the difference.
So it's more like learning by doing,
Yes,
by seeing real world examples and comparing them.
exactly.
That makes a lot more sense.
Right, but here's the catch.
Uh-oh.
The quality of those examples, that training data is super important.
Okay.
And that's where CRPO steps in with a clever twist.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
All right,
What's this clever twist?
CRPO leverages something we all experience. Okay.
Learning from our mistakes,
Mm-hmm.
it analyzes not only the quality of a translation,
Right.
the reward part,
Okay.
but also how confident the LLM is in that translation,
Okay.
the confidence part.
Gotcha.
And the real magic happens when those two things don't line up.
So it's like when you think you aced a test, but then you get the results back.
Yep.
And it's a big, fat F.
Exactly.
Talk about a confidence killer.
Those moments where we're confidently wrong are where the real learning happens.
Right.
And CRPO taps into that by focusing on the examples where the LLM is super sure about a translation, but the translation is actually way off.
So it's like saying, hey, LLM, pay attention. You messed this one up.
Yeah.
And you need to figure out why. It's like having a language tutor who points out your blind spots.
Precisely. And by zeroing in on these specific types of errors,
Okay.
CRPO makes the training process much more efficient.
So it's about working smarter, not harder.
Exactly.
Now, you mentioned two flavors of CRPO, CR Plus and CRX.
What's the difference? Are they like different learning styles?
That's a great way to think about it.
Okay.
They're two sides of the same coin, both aimed at improving the learning process.
Mm-hmm.
CR Plus, or Confidence Reward Plus, measures how much the model's understanding changes during training.
So it's like tracking the student's progress.
Exactly.
And CRX, if it's the other side of the coin.
CRX, or Confidence Reward Multiplication, focuses on the overall loss or confusion of the model.
Okay.
You could say it's like grading the exam at the end of the semester, seeing how well the model has actually learned the material.
So CR Plus tracks the journey.
Yeah.
And CRX measures the destination.
Exactly.
Fascinating. But why does all of this even matter? Does CRPO really make that much of a difference in the quality of translations?
It absolutely does.
Okay.
The researchers tested CRPO across 10 different language pairs using a data set called Flores 200,
Okay.
which contains text in a ton of different languages.
Wow.
And the results were pretty impressive.
Okay, spill the tea. How impressive are we talking?
Well, they used established metrics like Comet and BLERT to evaluate the translations and found that CRPO consistently outperformed other state-of-the-art methods.
Wow.
It even beat out systems that used reference translations from the WMT dataset, which is like the gold standard in the translation world.
Whoa. That's like going up against a team of professional translators and coming out on top.
Pretty much.
But what about that model that can translate over 200 languages, NLLB? Can CRPO improve something that's already so advanced?
That's the exciting part.
Okay.
CRPO works for various model architectures, not just LLMs.
Hmm.
So even a powerhouse like NLLB, which uses an encoder-decoder structure,
Okay.
can benefit from this method.
Okay.
And the research showed that CRPO significantly boosted NLLB's performance as well.
So CRPO is like a universal upgrade for AI translators. It's making good models better and great models even greater. This is definitely blowing my mind. Seems like we're really on the verge of something big here, aren't we?
We absolutely are. And in the next part of our deep dive, we'll explore exactly how CRPO works its magic and what it means for the future of breaking down language barriers. Stay tuned. Welcome back to our deep dive into CRPO. Last time we left off with the tantalizing prospect of AI systems that learn from their mistakes, just
Yeah.
like we do.
It's a total game changer in machine translation, especially for those LLMs that struggle with languages beyond English. But how does CRPO actually work? It sounds almost too good to be true.
Well, it's surprisingly intuitive when you break it down.
Yeah.
Remember how CRPO looks at both the quality of the translation and the AI's confidence in that translation?
Right, like judging a dish based on both the taste and the chef's swagger in presenting it.
Perfect analogy.
Okay.
Now imagine you have an LLM working on a translation.
Hmm.
For each possible translation, it assigns a probability score.
Okay.
That's its confidence level. The higher the probability, the more certain the LLM is about that translation.
So it's like the AI saying, I nailed this one, or, I'm not so sure about this.
Precisely. And then there's the reward score, which comes from another AI system that's been trained to judge translation quality. It's like having an expert panel tasting the dish and giving it a rating.
So high reward means a Michelin star translation, and low reward means back to language school.
You got it. Now, CRPO combines these two scores, confidence and reward, in a very specific way. It zeroes in on those instances where the LLM is highly confident about a translation that actually gets a low reward score. In other words, it's confidently wrong.
Like when you think you aced that test, but you actually failed it miserably, those are the moments when we learn the most, right?
Exactly. CRPO highlights those moments and uses them to fine-tune the LLM. It's like saying, pay attention, this is where you tripped up and we need to fix that.
So it's not just about rewarding the AI when it does well, it's about making those mistakes count.
Yeah.
But how does it actually use that information to improve the LLM? What's happening under the hood?
Well, it gets a bit technical here, but the key is something called a loss function. Think of this function as a way to measure how far off the AI's translations are from being perfect. The higher the loss, the more room for improvement.
So it's like a target practice scorecard. The further away from the bullseye, the higher the loss, and the more you need to adjust your aim.
That's a great way to visualize it. Now, CRPO cleverly designs this loss function to give those confidently wrong translations extra weight. It forces the AI to pay attention to them and adjust its understanding of the language accordingly.
So it's like making the AI redo the missed shots until it gets them right.
Precisely by repeatedly practicing and getting feedback, the AI gets better and better at hitting the target, producing accurate and fluent translations. And remember those two flavors of CRPO, CR+, and CRX.
Right. CR Plus was like tracking the student's progress, and CRX was like grading the exam.
Exactly. They offer different but valuable ways to design that special loss function and guide the learning process. And all of this happens within the context of a specific training dataset. The researchers used a dataset called Flores 200, which contains texts in tons of different languages, providing a rich linguistic landscape for the AI to learn from.
It's like giving the AI a world tour of languages, exposing it to all sorts of nuances and complexities.
Right, and to make sure CRPO was really working its magic, they used established metrics like Comet and Blurt to evaluate the quality of the translation.
Those were those metrics that compare the AI's translations to human translations.
Yeah.
Right, like having a panel of expert judges assess how well the AI has mastered each language.
Exactly. And CRPO consistently led to higher scores on these metrics compared to other methods, showing that it really does result in more accurate and fluent translations.
It's pretty impressive that it even beat out using reference translations from that gold standard WMT dataset.
It is. And remember how we talked about CRPO boosting the performance of NLLB, that model that can translate over 200 languages?
Yeah, it's mind-blowing that it could improve something that's already so advanced.
Well, CRPO is not limited to LLMs. It's adaptable and works with different model architectures, including NLLB's encoder-decoder structure. So even a powerhouse like NLLB can benefit from this fine-tuning.
So it's like taking a world-class athlete and giving them a specialized training regimen to shave milliseconds off their time. It's all about pushing the limits of what's possible.
Exactly. And the researchers showed that CRPO significantly improved NLLB's performance, making those 200 plus language translations even better. It's a testament to the power and versatility of this technique.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get the gist of how CRPO works. It focuses on the AI's confidently wrong translations, uses a clever loss function to highlight those mistakes, and ultimately helps the AI learn and improve its translation skills.
That's a great summary. But now let's step back from the technical details for a moment and think about the bigger picture. Why should the average person care about this? What does CRPO mean for us in the real world?
That's a great question. It's easy to get lost in the AI jargon and forget about the human side of things.
Exactly. For the average person, CRPO represents a step toward a future where language barriers are less of an obstacle. Imagine a world where you can seamlessly communicate with someone who speaks a completely different language, access information from all over the world, and experience other cultures without any linguistic limitations. That's the potential we're talking about.
It's like having a universal translator right in your pocket. No more awkward hand gestures or fumbling through phrasebooks.
Exactly. And think about the implications for things like global collaboration, cultural exchange, and even international travel. CRPO can open up a world of possibilities.
Okay, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. But let's be realistic. There are always limitations, right? What are some of the challenges the researchers highlighted?
Well, one thing they mention is that the current implementation of CRPO selects only the single most informative example for each source sentence during training. There might be other valuable examples that are being overlooked.
So it's like choosing the valedictorian to represent the whole graduating class, even though other students might have valuable insights to share.
That's a great way to put it. The researchers acknowledge that this could be improved by incorporating smarter data selection strategies that consider a wider range of examples.
Makes sense. Always room for improvement, right?
Right.
Were there any other limitations mentioned?
They also emphasize that, like any machine learning technique, CRPO's performance hinges on the quality of the data it's trained on. If the training data is biased or inaccurate, the resulting translations will reflect those flaws.
It's like teaching your AI chef with a cookbook full of bad recipes. You're bound to get some pretty questionable dishes.
Exactly. Having diverse, high-quality training data is essential for accurate and unbiased translations. It's an ongoing effort to ensure these AI models are trained on data that represents the richness and complexity of different languages and cultures.
So it's not just about the technology. It's about being responsible and thoughtful about the data we use to train it. Garbage in, garbage out, as they say.
Absolutely, and that's a responsibility that falls on everyone involved, from the researchers to the users. We need to be mindful of potential biases and limitations and work together to ensure AI is used ethically and effectively.
AI with a conscience. I like it, but CRPO is just one piece of the puzzle. What other research areas do you think are important for moving the field of machine translation forward?
One exciting area is the development of even more sophisticated evaluation metrics. Remember Comet and BLERT?
Yeah, those were like having expert judges assess the quality of the translations.
Right. They're good, but not perfect. We need metrics that can capture not just accuracy, but also things like fluency style and cultural appropriateness. We need metrics that can evaluate translations in real-world contexts, considering the purpose and audience of the translation.
It's one thing to translate a sentence in isolation, but it's another to translate a whole document or conversation and make sure it flows naturally and conveys the intended meaning.
Exactly. So developing these more nuanced evaluation metrics is crucial. It allows us to better understand the strengths and weaknesses of different translation models and guide their development.
Like giving those expert judges a more refined palette so they can truly appreciate the subtleties of different languages.
Precisely. But beyond evaluation, another promising area is integrating external knowledge into these AI models. Right now, they're primarily trained on text data. But what if they could also tap into encyclopedias databases or even real-time sensory data?
So it's like giving our AI chef access to not just cookbooks, but also information about different cultures, ingredients, and cooking techniques. They could create even more authentic and innovative dishes.
That's a great analogy. By incorporating this external knowledge, translation models could become even more accurate, nuanced, and culturally aware.
Wow. We're talking about AI translators that are not just linguistic experts, but also cultural ambassadors. It's an ambitious vision, but it could transform how we communicate and interact with the world.
It's a frontier worth exploring. It speaks to the larger goal of developing AI systems that understand the complexities of human language and culture. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's wrap up part 2 of our deep dive. Stay tuned for part 3, where we'll explore the broader implications of CRPO and what it all means for the future of AI and human communication.
And we're back for the final part of our deep dive into CRPO and what it means for the future of machine translation. Learning about this technique has really opened my eyes to the possibilities of AI.
Yeah, it's definitely a game changer. But beyond the technical marvels, it's important to remember that we're not just building algorithms for the sake of it, you know? We're trying to address a fundamental human challenge overcoming language barriers.
Yeah, because those barriers have real-world consequences, don't they?
Yeah.
They can lead to misunderstandings and limit access to information and even hinder progress in fields like science and medicine.
Absolutely. Language barriers can create divisions between people and cultures, stifle collaboration, and slow down innovation. CRPO, by improving machine translation, offers a powerful tool to bridge those divides.
It's like we're building linguistic bridges, connecting people and ideas that were once separated.
That's a great way to put it. Imagine a world where scientific discoveries can be shared instantly across the globe, where people from different cultures can work together seamlessly on projects where education and healthcare are accessible to everyone regardless of their native language.
It's a world with more understanding, more collaboration, and ultimately more progress. And it's not just about practicality, is it? It's also about empathy and connection.
Exactly. Language is so deeply intertwined with our identities and cultures. Being able to communicate in someone else's language shows respect and fosters deeper connections. CRPO can help us break out of our linguistic bubbles and engage with the world in a more meaningful way.
It's like saying, I see you, I hear you, and I value your perspective. But let's be real, some people are worried about AI getting too good at translation. They fear job losses or human translators becoming obsolete. What do you say to those concerns?
Those are valid concerns. It's true that AI translation will likely automate some tasks currently done by human translators. That doesn't mean human translators will disappear. In fact, I think AI will actually create new opportunities.
How so? If AI can do the translating, what's left for humans to do?
Think of it as a shift in focus. As AI translation becomes more sophisticated, it can handle the more routine tasks, freeing up human translators to focus on the more complex and nuanced aspects of translation. Those aspects that require a deep understanding of language, culture, and context, things AI systems are still learning to grasp.
So AI takes care of the basics and humans add the artistry and finesse.
Exactly. Human translators can ensure that translations are not just accurate, but also culturally appropriate, stylistically consistent, and truly convey the intended meaning and tone. They become more like editors, curators, and cultural consultants.
Elevating the quality of the translation beyond what AI can achieve on its own. And I imagine there will always be a need for human translators who specialize in specific fields like law or medicine, where accuracy and cultural sensitivity are critical.
Absolutely. The relationship between AI and human translation is more about collaboration than competition. It's about leveraging each other's strengths to create better translations for everyone.
It's a partnership where AI provides the raw power and humans provide the guidance and expertise.
That's a great way to see it. And CRPO is just one example of the incredible progress being made in AI. There are so many other exciting developments happening right now. We're really in an AI renaissance.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up with all the breakthroughs.
hmm
What other areas of research are you particularly excited about?
One area that really fascinates me is the development of AI systems that can reason and problem solve, like humans. AI that can think critically, make decisions, and even come up with creative solutions.
It's like we're teaching machines to think outside the box. But what does that look like in practice? Can you give me some examples?
Imagine AI systems that help doctors diagnose diseases more accurately, assist lawyers in building stronger legal cases, or enable engineers to design more efficient and sustainable infrastructure.
So it's not about AI replacing humans. It's about AI augmenting our capabilities and helping us make better decisions.
Precisely, AI should be a tool that empowers us, not replaces us. That's why it's crucial to develop AI systems that are aligned with human values and goals.
AI that works with us, not against us. But let's be honest, there are potential risks with AI as well, right? It's not all sunshine and rainbows. We've all seen those sci-fi movies where AI goes rogue.
You're absolutely right. It would be irresponsible to talk about AI's potential without acknowledging the risks. One major concern is the possibility of AI being used for malicious purposes, like developing autonomous weapons or creating deepfakes to spread misinformation.
So it's not just about the technology itself. It's about how it's used and who controls it.
Exactly. We need open and honest conversations about AI's ethical implications. We need clear guidelines and regulations to ensure that AI is developed and used responsibly. And we need to engage the public in these conversations because the future of AI is a future we all share.
AI for good, not AI for evil. It's a message we need to keep repeating. But stepping back from the potential doom and gloom for a moment, what personally inspires you most about the field of AI? What keeps you excited and motivated?
For me, it's AI's potential to solve some of humanity's most pressing challenges. Whether it's climate change, healthcare, or education, AI can help create a better future for ourselves and generations to come. And that's a vision worth striving for.
It does feel like we're on the cusp of something truly transformative, and AI is at the heart of it.
And it's up to all of us to ensure that this transformation is a positive one.
Well, on that note of hope and responsibility, we've reached the end of our deep dive into CRPO and the future of AI. We've covered a lot of ground from the technical details of this innovative training method to AI's broader implications for humanity.
It's been a fascinating journey, and I hope our listeners have found it as thought-provoking as we have.
If you're feeling inspired, intrigued, or even a bit apprehensive after this deep dive, we'd love to hear from you. Head over to our website or social media channels and share your thoughts.
And as always, we've got more resources waiting for you in the show notes. Go explore, learn more, and let's continue this conversation together.
Until next time, keep those minds curious and those imaginations firing. This is The Deep Dive signing off.